If you've been watching anything I've done, you know how much of an advocate I am for airbags and airbag technology. I've been hit by a car while wearing an airbag, and ever since then, I swear by airbags and I won't ride a motorcycle without one. I think everybody should wear an airbag. I don't care what brand it is, what type it is, but the safety you get from an airbag is just unrivaled compared to previous forms of protection. This right here next to me is the Alpinestars Tech Air 7X. There's a lot of history behind the Tech Air products. I won't go into all that right now, but what is important as far as the Tech Air 7X goes is this is the successor to pretty much the original Tech Air, the Tech Air Race, the one you would zip inside of your compatible Tech Air suit and go ride, and you have 2 deployments, and it was the first real independent airbag system on the market. This is the successor to that. What makes a Tech Air 7 so special? Well, let's get into that right now. Getting into the details of the Tech Air 7X, immediately you can tell the carcass of it looks different than previous Tech Air garments. There's a lot of perforation on the outside. There's sleeves that are a little bit longer, but more importantly, the ends of it are elasticized to grip your arm better so it stays in place. If you pay close attention, you'll see there's Velcro along the arms, the shoulders, and on the top of the neck, just like the Tech Air Race had previously. So if you've been paying attention, the Tech Air 7X is compatible with the old suits that the Tech Air Race could fit into as well. Look really closely and you'll see this yellow zip right here. I'll open this up in a second, but I point this out now because you can even zip these into the old Tech Air Race suits in the same yellow zip portions that those old suits had. However, if you've never had an old Tech Air Race suit and you have a current Tech Air suit or even a different brand, different manufacturer suit, you can wear the Tech Air 7X just as you would, say, a Tech Air 5. Completely independent, doesn't matter what suit you have. So it's compatible with both. You can zip it in or wear it independently, does not matter. Getting into the specifics some more, just on the front of it all, the connector in the front here, big and wide. The Tech Air 5 was a little zip, a Velcro enclosure that was much, much smaller. This is much beefier, much more positive engagement for you to know this thing is armed, this thing is working. The LEDs here, just like all the previous Tech Airs have had, right in front of your face, you know if it's working. There's a component in the back that lets you plug into your old Tech Air Race suit. I'll get into that in a minute, but the point of that is the LEDs on your arm on the actual suit would also coincide with the LEDs here. Again, that's if you have an old Tech Air Race compatible suit. Another cool feature, much, much loved. The charge port is in the front now, super easy to access, and it's a USB-C connector, not the micro USB that it was before. Much more universal connector. Pretty much everybody has one these days. Makes charging super easy and convenient. Here are the zips, the yellow zips I was talking about previously for compatibility with the old Tech Air Race suit. This little zip comes off and then opens up the zipper for putting inside of your Tech Air Race suit. Again, you don't have to do that. You could zip it up just like this, just like you would any other garment, and away you go. Now, the good stuff, the meat and potatoes of the Tech Air 7. All the guts are all in here. But before we get into that, let's scroll all the way down. The protection goes all the way down to your tailbone on the Tech Air 7X. Tech Air 5s, Tech Air 3s, all the previous Tech Airs would end pretty much right there. You have a little bit more coverage down to your tailbone here. Unlike Tech Air 10, there's no hip protection, but you know, there's trade-offs. You've got a thinner, lower profile CE level 1 back protector here. All the innards and the guts of the system are enclosed within this hump. You can take this off, and I'll get to that all in a minute here. The point of this was to show, you can see the Velcro attachments on the shoulders, on the neck, and again on the other side of the shoulder for the Tech Air Race suits. a third time. You don't have to use them, but they're there if you have those old compatible suits. The mesh construction of the chassis, better airflow, more flexibility. You see the flex panels along the sides for a better range of movement as you're wearing the airbag and the suit. And then, for more comfort, I'll turn this back to the front. On the armpit area, the slot here, again, better range of movement, less restriction, less constriction as you're wearing it, as you're riding. All right, now that we have the Tech Air 7X on the table, off the mannequin, let's take a deeper dive into what it entails. Let's open this up. Inside, let's start with this back pad here. You can't really tell on camera, but as I unzip this, the actual part that touches your back, let's see if we can get this on camera here, but there's a really good amount of cushion and padding there, so it's not just some hard piece of plastic against your back. This is soft, supple, sponge-like material that's a nice comforting feeling on your back. So as we pull the back pad up, and you can see this is the actual airbag itself. It's perforated for better ventilation because, as we all know, wearing a garment like this restricts some airflow, and motorcycling is hot, you know? So you need the airflow. As we scroll down, again, you can see all the way down just how far the airbag protection goes down to your tailbone here. So now let's get to some really good stuff, the back. So let's start at the top, we'll work our way down. You'll see a slot right there. If you have an old Tech Air Race suit or jacket, there's that connector, that cord in the back of either the suit or the jacket that you would previously connect to the Tech Air Race. Now you can slot it through here and it goes into what's underneath here as I fumble with this. There we go. Here is the guts, the brains, the whole operation of the Tech Air 7X. Again, so you would thread in your cord from your Tech Air Race garment through here and connect it to this connector here. What that does is activate the LED light panel on the sleeve, the arm sleeve of your jacket or your suit. So when you turn on the airbag, the LEDs turn on. Again, you can look at the front connector of the airbag itself to see if it's working. But if you prefer to look at the arm LED, that's what that is for. And again, if you don't even have a Tech Air Race compatible suit or jacket, none of that even matters. So now, let's get into what's really cool about the Tech Air 7X. These are the cartridges, the canisters that provide the boom, the pop, the protection, if you will, if you get into a crash. Just like the Tech Air Race, there's two of them. You get 2 deployments. If they detect a crash scenario, it's anywhere from 20 to 40 milliseconds that it takes to fully deploy the airbag, depending on what size of airbag you get in the first place. But unlike previous Tech Air systems, except now for the Tech Air off-road system, with the Tech Air 7X, you can actually replace the cartridges yourself. This pops up out of its holster there. This orange tab is used to lock the connector in place by design. It's a little bit tricky to undo because you don't want it to come out when it shouldn't. But you pull this orange tab out. Now it's fully out. Now it just pops right out. The canister, lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. That's it. Installation is opposite of removal. So put the canister in place, put this guy in like that, lock it in place, put it back in its slot. The important bit, which is often overlooked, is where these metal tabs go in. There's a slot here, as you can see, and there's also slots over there where this is supposed to go in. Put them in place, and you can see as I put it in, it rotated. Just slide those back in place so they sit comfortably. You can see the other side as an example. Yeah, you're good to go. As you can see right here, this blue cylinder is the battery, 20 hours of ride time. There's a USB-C port in the front to recharge. Makes things super simple, and 20 hours of ride time is quite a bit. So that's it for the innards of the Tech Air 7X. Now, this just might seem like a typical old plastic cover to you, but there's some important bits to pay attention to here. There's a magnet right there on the cover. If this isn't aligned for whatever reason, the airbag won't arm. So it's important to make sure everything is lined up properly, and it's kind of hard to mess this up. You put this tab in the middle, it's pretty self-explanatory, and then all the different tabs along the edges here will all line up. You give it a good firm push, you're done. It's good to go. So with the Tech Air 7X, you get a total of 4 deployments before Alpinestars recommends sending the whole thing in for an inspection to make sure the integrity of the airbags and the whole system is still good, and then you can go from there. However, after 2 deployments or even 1 deployment, if you want to check the integrity of the airbag, there's this little dongle here. Serves a few purposes. One, if you also care about just having the most lightweight system available, you can actually remove one of the canisters and plug this in its place to close the loop. But again, if you want to check the integrity of the airbag after 1 or 2 deployments, you plug this in, and there's a Schrader valve on the top here. Take off the cap, and you see the Schrader valve on top there. If you have a bicycle pump, you plug that on there, you pump it, fill up the airbag, and you can test the integrity of the airbag there. Check for any leaks, check for any signs of damage, whatever. And then, in the event of a deployment of the airbag, after 5 seconds, the airbag stays fully inflated for 5 seconds, and then at that point, there's a valve right here that'll open up and expand and evacuate all the air in here, so you're not stuck wearing this giant poofy Michelin Man sort of jacket for longer than you want. So like the other Tech Air systems, the Tech Air 7X also is compatible with the Tech Air app. Scan the QR code on the top of your Tech Air system, and you come to a screen that looks like this. Let me grab the phone here. If you're familiar with the app, this should all be pretty recognizable to you. But here you can see the battery status, whether it's connected. You can start your ride if you feel like doing that sort of thing. And then you can do the check your ride sort of a thing. You can change your profile. And here on the settings mode, you can change from race mode to street mode or vice versa. Go back, change your measurements. You can get the latest software updates for it, send feedback, look at the documents, how long you've been working, the airbag has been working for, things like that. If you're familiar with the Tech Air app, then this will all be old news to you, but the Tech Air 7X works just the same as previous Tech Air garments with the app. And that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of the Tech Air 7X system. Of course, the important thing you want to know now is what it's like to ride with. And we'll get to that in a minute. So I've worn the Tech Air 7X on the street now for about 120, 200 oddish miles. I've worn it at the racetrack quite a bit, done track stuff, done street stuff with it. I'm actually wearing it with a non-Alpinestars jacket. The important thing is that there's just plenty of room for the airbag to expand if it needs to deploy. This is probably my favorite airbag so far to wear for a few reasons. One, this chassis is much more breathable than the Tech Air 5. It's slimmer than the Tech Air 5. It's much easier to put on, to wear, and just to ride every day with. If you are familiar with the Tech Air 5, you'll remember how the sleeves are kind of big and bulky. This elasticized sleeve really contours to my arm a whole lot better, which makes it a whole lot more comfortable with a jacket on and in the riding position. It doesn't clump, there's no awkward feelings. It's just a much more comfortable, more refined airbag to wear. I haven't had to deploy it, thankfully, so I haven't actually had to do any of the cartridge changes or any of that, but as far as comfort goes, I don't really know what's there. It's just slimmer than the previous versions of the airbag. Like I said, it's more ventilated, and having the LEDs right there on my chest so I can immediately look and see it's armed and activated. I'm really a fan of that. And I can wear this like a Tech Air 5, I can wear it like a Tech Air Race, I can zip it into my old suits, or I could just throw it in my old suits and go ride, or a jacket like this and go ride. Yeah, it's just a really, really good airbag system. It is $1,000. I think it's worth the money, especially if you don't already have an airbag. If you do, well, that's up to you to decide what those convenience features mean to you. But for me, this is the airbag I wish Alpinestars came out with pretty much right off the bat. If there was one thing that I wish that they did, hip protectors, but I guess that would be the Tech Air 10 version 2, right? So the airbag technology, the airbag market is still relatively young. I have a feeling, Gen 2 of the Tech Air 10 will have the airbag in more of a streamlined chassis like this. My other gripe would be, I wish there was an off button. The original Tech Air Race had a switch. You could turn the thing on or off, which made it super easy to hang up in your closet when you're not wearing it. This does not have that. What I've done is take these flaps, fold them inwards, and take the zipper here and hang it up in my closet. It works, but having the on-off button for transport and for storage just would be a little bit more peace of mind. But overall, I'm really happy with what the Tech Air 7 provides. The ability to change your own cartridges, the ability to have 4 deployments before you gotta send it back. The ownership experience is gonna be better with this one. So yeah, I'm gonna repeat myself. If you don't already have an airbag, this would be the one to get. If you do, well, you gotta weigh up those convenience factors for yourself, but this is really good. All right, that's it for the Tech Air 7X airbag system from Alpinestars. Be sure to go to Motorcycle.com to read the written review about the airbag. We'll have similar notes, but also supplemented by Mark Miller, the fastest American around the Isle of Man TT course. He got to wear one of these too, and he'll have his thoughts in the written story as well. So, all right, guys, ride safe, wear an airbag, and as always, see you later.